Bugger it, Millennium Hand and Shrimp.
That's what you call a cold open right there. Welcome to this week's edition of the RobBrod Report. It should be number 33 now, if my count is correct. If not, I'm old and I'm forgetful. This is a very big weekend, this upcoming weekend for January 8th and 9th. I've got 7. I got 12 shows on both Fridays and Saturday this week. 5 shows on Friday itself. And as soon as my dog, hopefully my dogs don't pull out the cord of the camera here. So we'll get right to it. Friday, January the 8th. Like I said, 5 shows. Starting out, of course, with Pro South over in Piedmont, Alabama. Followed up by Southern Honor Wrestling in Canton, Georgia. Unless Larry decides otherwise, I'll probably be going to that show. And I got a dog on my lap. Hi, dog, yes. Action Wrestling. That's all capital letters, Action, in Tyrone, Georgia. PCW Remix over in Covington, Georgia. And then over in Rome, Georgia, we have KLT, night 1 of the Fantasy Benefit Show. Stop the Leak, Save the Tatas. So Friday night is action-packed. My glasses always seem crooked. So and then Saturday we got another action-packed weekend. I'm going to start off close to home. All Pro Championship Wrestling in Douglasville, Georgia. I will be going to that show. I try to spread the love around as much as I can. Southern Violence and Wrestling over in Athens, Georgia. Championship Wrestling from Georgia in Swainsboro, Georgia. The second night of KLT's benefit show. God, that is seriously crooked. In Rome, Georgia, KLT benefit show for fantasy. Stop the Leak, Save the Tata. That's night 2 of that. Wrestle America in Barnesville. And West Georgia Wrestling over in Villa Rica at the Gold Dust Park. So I think I got everything. Southern Wrestling Alliance was on Wrestling Calendar. That's in East Stanley. I always hesitate to pronounce that. East Stanley, Georgia. Southern Wrestling Alliance. I haven't seen any flyers on Facebook, but it did show up on the Wrestling Calendar. So we'll have to see if that, I have to double check that. So those are all the shows that I have found this weekend, and I guess that's a lot of shows. It's a lot of action. It's not, I don't know if anything's going on in South Georgia. I didn't see anything. I know Coastal Empire is coming up in another week or two over in Savannah area. So it's a huge weekend. Second weekend in January. So there's a lot of shows around the area. So you should have a show close by to you to go out and support your favorite independent wrestling, or depending on the promotion, least favorite independent wrestling. Uh, so anyway, those are the shows up. This last Saturday, I made the trip over to Franklin, Georgia, to watch Wrestling United. You can check the report on gwhnewsandnotes.blogspot.com. Only 80 people. I'd like to see that number get up. The matches and shows were only 5 matches, which was actually just the right length for that. Everything was spaced out. Nothing was too rushed. They kind of threw a swerve, having a main event quality match as the opening show. Murder One started off the show calling out Frankie Valentine. After at the October show, the Halloween show for Wrestling United, Frankie was able to beat Murder One. Murder One is disputing how Frankie got the win, and that set up to a 2-on-1 attack on Frankie Valentine between Murder One and Chip Day. Lamar Diggs ran out and made the save, and that led to the opening match. The Kraken, which is the group of Murder One and Chip Day, picked up the victory, scoring a pinfall. Chip Day kicked Lamar Diggs' head off. That was a nice shot. So that's able to score the pinfall. So that was an interesting way to start out the match. Start the night. Excuse me. Ooh, that's what happened when you drink Monsters. And so was able to get off the match with the crowd's blood flowing, and then they proceeded from there. Barry Morales versus the senior moment. Barry Morales versus Alex Kane, the suplex assassin. Alex Kane looked like a friggin' monster. I am loving his intensity in the ring, and I was surprised it was a clean pin, but sometimes you can't be surprised too much. So that was an excellent win on Alex Kane over the up and coming Barry Morales. Might be a rant later on for Breakout. Main event was Ben Buchanan and Trevor Aeon, representing Taliaferro's Blackhearts. That was a pretty damn good match. A nice contrast of styles and sizes between Trevor Aeon and Ben Buchanan. Ben Buchanan picked up the win, which got a huge pop considering how the ending worked. It looked like the Blackhearts and Trevor Aeon were about to steal one away, and Ben showed his resiliency and picked up the win in spite of all the circumstances surrounding with the Blackhearts and Trevor Aeon. So that was a good match to end the night with, and the whole night is showing the influx of new and younger talent in the area. Not even Wrestling United, but other shows. Larry made mention of that in his report of KLT. That also happened on Saturday. And it's always the fine line of bringing in the new people, new talent, and having them connect with your core audiences who are used to seeing these older, I don't want to say older, but familiar. It's like the comfortable quilt that you like to snuggle up with on your couch, drinking your adult beverage of choice. That's maybe not the best metaphor, but it's I think it's a pretty apt one. It's it's your best friends, and might like see other people coming in trying to become your best friend when you got you think a still perfectly fine best friend that you can rely on. That's a bad, even worse metaphor, but fuck you. That's my metaphors. I'm sticking to them. But so that's a fine line, and it's depending on how you book it. It can work out pretty good, especially on these longer running promotions who've had this fan base. West Georgia is, because I'm more familiar with West Georgia, so other portions of the state probably will have something similar. They've been wrestling. Some of these people have been wrestling so long, you don't want to cheer or boo anyone else, and it is such a tough case to crack. And when you have to bring in new people, and you do have to bring in new talent, it revives. It brings in hopefully more people if you do it right, and that's where the booker and promoters have to shine. The bookers have to create the scenarios to highlight and showcase the newer talent, and then the promoters have got to make sure that the newer talent is spotlighted in such a way that the people can get familiar with them. That's my opinion anyway. That's a rant from me about that. It's good to see again. It's just hard to pull off. Other promotions in previous years before 2020 have had the same problem, and it's always going to be something, and because it's the farm system of independent wrestlings. Everyone wants to move up, but you have to go through the stages. Some people can jump from single A to triple A to the major leagues in less than a year. Ben Buchanan is somewhat on that track, and Austin Theory, that was another one. That was a fast track, but others are take a little bit more time, which can work out to their favor. So it's Cyrus, Austin Towers. I think Trevor Aeons can get moved up fairly quickly, especially if he goes back to Japan and works on. I want to see more viciousness. We need a squash match of Trevor Aeon where he absolutely brutalizes some kid. Ends his career type of match. I like to see that. And so it's one of those things where you have to, and the talent has to work their end of the bargain as well. You have to show up, you have to do your thing, and you have to do it well. You have to connect with the crowd. If you're a face, you need to work that face gimmick, shake hands, hug babies, kiss the rats. If you're a face, if you're a heel, you need to get them pissed off at you. A couple years ago, when AC Mack was working that angle with the Havens over in Peach State, there were people who were wanting to lynch AC Mack, and that is, as a heel, that's real. I think that's really what you want. You want that kind of reaction. Another story, Mark Henry or Simon Sermon made mention of it. His mother was at a show. He was working heel, and she was proudly proclaiming that that's her boy. And after the match, she went out to her car and found out it was keyed up. So yeah, that's the kind of, I don't want anyone's car destroyed, but that's kind of the reaction you kind of want. So anyway, that's my report and rant for this week. Next week, a lot of 5 weekends this month. I think it's 5 weekends this month. But to see how the rest of the month plays out, I do want to mention January 30th, the Wrestling United is going to do a Wrestling United is going to do a benefit show for Jimmy the Ox Oxendine, and so a big match has been announced for that. Chip Day versus Very Morales. That should be a banger. I love that. Just love that term. Yeah, again, I'm a dirty old man. Anyway, that's all I have for this week. Love you lots. TTFN.